topic for today is local taxation. Okay, local taxation. So under this, we'll discuss the different types of local taxes. So far, lahat na discuss natin are national taxes. Maybe income tax, transfer taxes such as estate and donors tax, business taxes, so we have VAT, OPT, excise tax, DST, lahat yan, national taxes. So today naman class, focus naman tayo sa local taxes. Okay, now, local taxation is governed by RA 7160 or the Local Government Code of 1991. Medyo matagal na, 1991 pa siya. Or we also call this a Local Government Code of the Philippines. Actually class, nag-upload ako ng copy niyan sa Facebook group natin. Naglagay din ako ng links sa G-Sheets natin. So please, basahin mo muna before you watch our video for today. Kahit mabilisan lang. Easy reading lang yan. Gusto ko lang magkaroon ka ng idea kung ano yung content of the Local Government Code. Alright? Now, the Local Government Code will be implemented by what we call the Local Government Units or the LGUs. And the LGUs are under the control and supervision of the Department of Interior and Local Government or the DILG. Alright, now, just a quick review class ng general principles in taxation natin. So we learned, yung first topic natin sa review natin, that taxation, power of taxation, is one of the three inherent powers of the state. And yung power of taxation is vested on the Congress. Ibig sabihin, si Congress lang yung may exclusive power to tax. Tama? Yun yung general rule natin. Pero naalala nyo class, may exceptions tayo doon. May tatlong cases wherein yung power of taxation pwedeng i-delegate. Alala nyo pa? So number one doon is, well, pwedeng i-delegate sa President yung pag-fix ng tariffs and duties. What else? Second one is yung administrative function. Pwedeng i-delegate kay BIR, yung assessment and collection. And third one is, pwedeng i-delegate sa LGUs or the local government units. So, ibig sabihin class, yung power of taxation ng LGUs natin, delegated power yan. Hindi yan inherent power. Gets? Again, delegated power, not inherent power. Inherent power lang sa Congress lang yan. Okay, now, if you remember class, discuss natin sa general principles yung three branches of the national government. Tama? Meron tayong executive, so nandiyan yung president, the vice president, and the cabinet members. We have the legislative, so basically, nandiyan yung Congress, yan yung gumagawa ng batas natin. And judiciary, basically, yun yung nag-handle ng tax cases. So nandiyan yung Supreme Court, nandiyan yung lower courts. Tama? Now, yun yung national government. Tignan natin class kung ano yung counterpart sa local government. So para mas ma-appreciate natin yan, yung topic natin, aralin muna natin class yung LGU structure. Okay, so as I said, yung LGU or the local government natin class, meron din siyang executive, meron siyang legislative, pero wala siyang judiciary. So take note, wala siyang separate na judiciary. Bakit sir? Kasi lahat ng courts in the Philippines are under the Supreme Court. Okay? Walang LGU-controlled na courts. Alright? So again, lahat ng tax cases in the Philippines, ang bahala dyan yung Supreme Court as well as the lower courts. Yung Court of Appeals, Court of Tax Appeals, RTCs, MTCs, and so on. Gets? Okay, now, meron tayong apat na LGUs. Okay? Number one, the province. Number two, we have the cities. Number three, we have the municipalities. And number four, we have the barangays. And yung barangays, actually, pwede mo pa siyang i-break down into sitio and purok. Okay? So yung sitio and purok, mas maliit pa sa barangay yan. Okay? Now, we have the provinces, we have the cities, municipalities, and barangays. So in the Philippines, we have 81 provinces. Cities, meron tayong 144. Municipalities, 1490. Barangays, 42028. So FYI lang, nilagay ko lang para may idea kung gaano karami yung local government units in the Philippines. Now, so sabi ko class, meron tayong may executive and legislative. So lagay ko dito, executive. And dito naman class, yung legislative or the legislature. Okay? Legislative. Now, tingnan natin class, sino ba sir yung head ng executive arm of the local government? So for provinces, ang head niyan, well, we know, yun yung governor. Tama? And then for cities and municipalities, ang head naman yung class, mayor. Sir, ano difference ng cities and municipalities? So technically, magkaiba yan, okay? Ang pagkakaiba niyang class, sa area, kung gaano kalaki, sa income, and sa population. So isipin mo na lang na yung cities, mas malaki yung area, income, and population niya than municipalities. Okay? Pero both of them, cities and municipalities, ang head nila yung mayor. Sa barangay, so we know class, ang head niyan is the barangay captain or the punong barangay. Got it? So ito yung executive arm or yung mga heads ng local government. Now, doon naman tayo sa legislative or the legislature. Class, di ba yung Congress natin sa national government yung bahala mag-create ng tax laws, tama? Now, meron din sa local government. Ang tawag natin doon, class, is sanggunian. Okay? For provinces, meron tayong tinatawag na sangguniang panlalawigan. For cities, we have sangguniang lungsod. Okay? For municipalities, we have sangguniang bayan. And for barangays, we have the sangguniang barangay. Okay? So class, isipin mo lang, kung meron kang Congress sa national government, meron kang sanggunian for local government. So, ibig sabihin, class, yung mga sanggunian na yan, sila yung may power to create and impose taxes. Okay? Ang tawag natin dyan, these are your tax ordinances. Alright? Now, yung sangguniang panlalawigan, lungsod and bayan, ang head naman nila, class, sila yung mga vice. Okay? So, for example, sa province, ang head ng sangguniang panlalawigan is the vice governor. Okay? Sa lungsod and bayan naman, ang head ng sanggunian yan is the vice mayor. Okay? Plus the councilors. Yan, sa barangay, okay, sangguniang barangay, ang head naman nito, class, well, yun yung barangay captain. Kasama na dyan yung mga councilors o yung mga kagawad. And we know, meron din tayong tinatawag na SK. Tama? Sangguniang kabataan. So, nandyan din yung SK chairman. Okay? So, basically, class, ito yung local government natin. Got it? Now, according to section 129 of the local government code. So, tayo dito, section 129, sulat mo to, class. Sabi dun, each LGU, okay, so write this down, each LGU is vested with power to create its own source of revenue. Okay? Own source of revenue. By levying tatlo. Pwede nilang i-levy. Number 1, taxes. Number 2, fees. And number 3, charges. Okay, so each LGU is vested with power. So, ibig sabihin, class, yung local government code natin, binigyan siya ng power to create its own source of revenue. Kaya sabi natin na delegated power yan, such as taxes, fees, and charges. Actually, class, ang pag-aaral natin today, tatlo. Number 1 is examples of taxes, fees, and charges. Number 1 is the real property tax or RPT. O, sulat muna. Number 2, local business taxes or let's call it LBT. And then number 3 is the community tax, okay, or city. So, ulitin ko. Ito yung local taxes sa pag-aaralan natin. Real property tax, local business taxes, and community tax. Right? Isa-isahin natin yan. Basically, ganun lang gagawin natin sa discussion natin. Now, so as you notice here, class, sabi dyan, each LGU is vested with power to create its own source of revenue. So basically, meron silang local autonomy. Okay? Or autonomy. In MAS, alam natin, class, na yung concept na autonomy. Isin ko lang, autonomy. In MAS, meron tayong concept ng decentralization. Ganun din sa LGU. Kasi class, imagine kung lahat yung national government ang gagawa. Well, hindi niya maayos yun. Na for each province, city, municipality, kung siya yung bahala sa lahat, well, magiging inefficient sa part ng national government yun. Kaya, ginawa niyo, sige, i-decentralize natin. Ibigay natin yung power sa mga LGUs. Gets? Though meron silang power to impose taxation. Yung mga tuklas, meron din siya mga limitations. Okay? So, parang sa general principles natin, di ba? Meron tayong inherent and constitutional limitations. Sa mga LGUs, meron din mga limitations yan. Bigyan natin 2 examples. Number 1, LGUs cannot impose national taxes. Okay? So, ang pwede na mag-impose ng national taxes, yung national government. So, LGUs, hindi sila pwede mag-impose ng national taxes. Second limitation is, merong mga maximum rates na pwedeng i-impose yung mga LGUs. Hindi sila pwedeng sumobra dun sa rates na yun. Okay? So, later, pag-aaralan natin yan. Now, kaya sabi ko, mas maganda kung mabasa mo muna yung local government code natin. So, again, even though may power sila to tax, meron din silang limitations. Alright? Now, tingnan natin, class. Punta naman tayo dun sa fundamental principles of local taxation. Punta tayo sa G-sheets natin. Okay, meron dyang 5. Basahin natin, class. Fundamental principles, number 1, taxation shall be uniform. Okay, so focus ka dun sa naka-bold na items. Number 1 is uniform. Number 2, taxes, fees, charges, and other impositions shall be equitable, okay, and based as far as practicable on the taxpayer's ability to pay. What else? Levied and collected only for public purpose. Not be unjust, excessive, oppressive. Not be contrary to law, public policy, etc. Number 3, the collection of local taxes, fees and charges, and other impositions shall in no case be let to any private person. Siyempre, ang bahala dyan, yung LGUs. Hindi pwedeng i-delegate yan sa private persons. Okay? Number 4, the revenue collected pursuant to provisions of this code shall inure solely to the benefit of the local government unit. And number 5, each local government unit shall, as far as practicable, evolve a progressive system of taxation. Kasi ano napansin nyo sa fundamental principles of local taxation? Di ba yan din yung general principles of taxation natin? Tama? Kaya familiar tayo. Makikita mo dyan, uniformity, ability to pay, public purpose, okay, progressive system, o di ba, yan din yung naaral natin sa general principles of taxation. So, pwede mo isipin na kung ano yung principles sa national government, yun din dito sa local government. Okay? Now, sabi ko kanina, class, na ang discussion natin magre-revolve sa tatlo na yan. Real property tax, local business tax, and community tax. Simulan natin dito sa real property tax. Sabi ko dito, class, ha? Real property tax or RPT. Sige, so sabihin ko sa'yo, discuss natin kung ano yung ibig sabihin ng real property tax na yan. Actually, I don't know if naririnig yung word na amilyar. Amilyar, yan yung RPT natin. Okay? So, amilyar yung tawag dyan. Now, yung power to impose RPT, very important to, sulat mo to, has been given to, number 1, provinces, number 2, cities and municipalities within Metro Manila. Okay? So, ibig sabihin, class, hindi lahat ng LGUs pwedeng mag-impose ng real property tax. Dapat provinces and cities and municipalities in Metro Manila. Yun lang. Sila lang pwede mag-impose ng real property tax. Gets? Okay. Now, obviously, it's imposed on real property. RP na lang class pag real property. Kaya real property tax. Pero class, ang unique dito, yung real property na yan, pwede siyang land, pwedeng buildings, pwedeng machineries, and improvements. So, ibig sabihin class, yung real property na pinag-uusapan natin dito, hindi lang land and building. Pwedeng machineries and improvements. But take note, dapat yung machineries na yung class attached or installed to land and building. Okay? So, permanently attached siya dun sa land and building bago mo siya i-consider as real property. Gets ba? Okay, yung improvements naman class, well, ito yung mga physical facilities. Okay? For example, mga land and leasehold improvements. Ayan, yun yung mga example ng improvements. So, gusto ko lang i-highlight class na pag sinabing real property, when it comes to real property taxation, hindi lang basta land and building yan. Pwede siyang kasama yung machineries and improvements as long as permanently attached sila dun sa land and building. Gets? Okay, now, meron ding fundamental principles, yung real property taxes. Yun yung next item dito sa G-sheets natin. So, merong 5. Okay, sa isa natin class. Lagay ko dito, fundamental principles. Number 1, so basahin natin class. So, letter A. Nakalagay dyan, real property tax or real property shall be appraised at its current and fair market value. So, lagay ko na dito, fair market value. Yung keywords na lang class. Yun yung first fundamental principle. So, ano ibig sabihin yan? Ganito yung class. Lahat ng property owners, okay, lahat ng property owners, land building, machineries, improvements, kailangan mag-prepare sila and mag-file sila ng tinatawag natin na tax declaration with LGU, okay? Or tax dec. Okay, yung tax declaration na yan, basically class, nandiyan yung details ng property, okay? Yung description ng property, saan nakalocate yung property, gaano siya kalaki, okay? Yun yung ilalagay mo dyan sa, or yung title, okay? Yung title number ng property, yun yung ilalagay mo sa tax declaration, okay? Now, take note class na yung tax declaration na yan, self-declaration yan. Okay? Yung initiative dapat manggaling dun sa property owners. Right? And ginagawa ito every 3 years. Tatandaan mo yan, every 3 years. Now, after mag-prepare ng tax declaration ng property owners, ang next step dito class, yung LGUs gagawa yan ng assessment. Okay? Of the value of the property. So basically, i-determine of the property. I-determine ni LGU kung ano yung fair market value of the property. Okay? Ginagawa yan sa, well, familiar naman kayo sa assessor's office. Tama? So, yung assessor's office class, basically, makakakita ka doon tinatawag natin na assessment rolls. So, pag pumunta ka dyan sa city hall nyo, sa munisipyo, o actually sa provincial capital nyo, makakakita ka ng mga assessment rolls. Usually, yan, naka-post sa wall yan. Okay? So, available for public viewing. Okay? Ganun yan. Yun yung assessment rolls. So, ngayon class, ginagawa ng mga LGUs na yan, or specifically yung assessor's office na yan, para ma-determine nila yung value. Well, maraming methods na ginagawa dyan. No? Pero, ang isang widely used na method is ang tawag doon is comparative sales approach. Okay? For example, sa isang area, paano mo malaman kung ano yung value ng property doon? Pag may recent na sale, okay? Pag may nagbenta doon recently, kung magkano binenta, i-divide mo sa number of square meters, yun yung estimate value of the property doon sa area. Siyempre, may mga adjustments na lang yun. Pero basically, may mga different methods yung LGUs niyan to determine the fair market value of the property. Okay? So, yun yung first principle natin pagdating sa fundamental principles of real property taxes. Okay, so now, ginagawa class yung revaluation, hindi naman every year yan. Yung pag-revalue ng mga properties na yan is done every 3 years. So take note of that. Alright, so again, fair market value, hindi zonal value. Okay, hindi zonal value, fair market value. Number 2, or letter B. Basahin natin class. Real property shall be classified for assessment purposes on the basis of actual use. Lagay ko dito, actual use. Sir, ano ibig sabihin yan? For example, class, bigyan natin 2 examples. Example number 1, si Mr. X, bumili siya ng lupa. Ayan. Okay, so ang intention niya, gagawin niyang residential. Gagawa siya ng bahay. Okay, para sa family niya. Yan yung ginawa ni Mr. X. Let's say this is 200 square meters. Yan yung intention niya na binili niya yung lupa. No? Nasa subdivision, ganyan. Now, instead na gawin niya ng bahay, ang ginawa ni Mr. X, nilagay ng business. Bago yung isip niya, sige, lagyan ko ng business yan. Therefore, naging commercial use. Alright? So, yung intention niya is residential, yung original intention niya. Pero yung actual use niya is commercial. Okay? Therefore, yung magiging classification of the land is commercial. Gets? Ganun na siya. Kaya actual use. Hindi yung intention, kung ano yung pinaggamitan. Paano niya ginamit. Yun yung magiging classification of the real property. Gets? Okay. Next. Example number 2. For example, ginawa ni Mr. X, sige, ganito gagawin ko dyan. Bumili ako ng 200 square meters na lupa. Okay? Now, yung 150 square meters dito, gagawin kong residential. Okay? House. Ngayon, yung 50 square meters, lagyan ko ng business. No? So, magkasama. So, mixed use. Okay? Mixed use. Merong residential, house. Meron din commercial, is a business. Sir, paano ang classification yan? Residential ba yan o commercial? Tanda mo, class, pag mixed use, ang magiging classification yan is, well, mag-a-apply dyan yung predominance. Predominance rule applies. So in this case, mas dominant yung house, therefore yung buong classification, the 200 square meters, is residential. Gets? Okay. So yun yung concept of actual use. Alright, so let's go to number 3. Dito na lang, pagkakasahin ko na lang dito para iba yung sulat natin doon. Letter C. Letter C na tayo. So letter A is fair market value. Letter B is actual use. Letter C, the third fundamental principle is actually merong uniform classification. Okay, uniform classification. Nasaan yan? Basahin natin, class. Real property shall be assessed on the basis of uniform classification within each LGU. So ganito siya. Actually, may ilan yan? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Merong residential. Okay. Agricultural. So sulat nyo to, class. We have commercial. Okay. What else? We have industrial. Okay. We have mineral. And we have timberland. So basically, class, meron tayong 6 classifications of real property. Agricultural, residential, ganda example yun sa mga household. Subdivisions, villages, okay, mga condos, apartments, yun, residential yan. Okay? Agricultural naman, class, basically, pag ginamit mo sa farm, or farming. Okay? Next, commercial, basically, pag nag-establish ka ng may mga nilagay kang businesses or business establishments, commercial yun. Pag naman industrial, let's say may mga factory ka or manufacturing facilities, ang classification naman nun, industrial. When you say mineral, basically, applicable yun sa mining. Okay? Kapag yung area nang ginagamit sa mining, let's say gold, copper, or other minerals, ayun, mineral yung magiging classification niya. Timberland naman, class, basically, yung forest, okay? Wood, ayan, timberland yan. So again, may uniform classification. Residential, agricultural, commercial, industrial, mineral, and timberland. Actually, dun sa assessment roles dito, dun makikita mo din yung classification of the property. Okay, ito siya. Makikita mo to, okay, and then makikita mo yung fair market value per square meter. Right? Let's go to fundamental principle letter D. Nakalagay dyan, basahin natin, class. The appraisal, assessment, levy, and collection of real property tax shall not be delegated to any private person. So, lagay ka lang dito, not be delegated to any private person. So, basically, class, ang bahala mag-assess, okay? Ang bahala mag-appraise, assess, levy, and collection, yung LGUs. Hindi yan pwedeng i-delegate sa private person. Yun lang ibig sabihin yan. And letter E, the appraisal and letter E, appraisal and assessment of real property shall be equitable. So we know, class, yung equitable na concept sa taxation, which is basically, yan yung ability to pay. Okay? Ability to pay. So kaya, class, makikita natin later, yung real property tax is a percentage. Okay? Percentage siya. Now, tingnan natin, class, yung assessment levels. Okay? Kaya important yung, balik muna tayo dito, yung uniform classification. Iba-iba yung, class. So punta muna tayo dito sa G-sheets natin. Nakita mo dyan yung assessment levels. Alright, so meron tayo dyan na residential, agricultural, commercial, industrial, mineral, timberland, lands, buildings and other structures, agricultural, commercial, ayan, machinery, special classes. Nakita niyo yung class sa G-sheets natin? Okay, now, sir, ang dami naman percentages yan. Kailangan ba namin i-memorize yan? Actually, hindi. Okay? Hindi mo kailangan i-memorize to. Ang kailangan mo lang tandaan, yung hinighlight ko na yellow dyan. Kung anong kulay yan. So, yung lands, doon na sa lands. So, tandaan mo lang na residential is 20%, yung assessment level, agricultural is 40%, commercial is 50, industrial, mineral, 50, timberland is 20. Yan lang yung kailangan mong tandaan. Yung iba, pag nilagay yan sa board exam, usually nilalagay na, ini-indicate na kung ano yung assessment level. Tandaan mo yan, ha? So yung 6 na yan, kailangan alam yan. Gets? Sir, para saan assessment levels na yan? Well, tuturuan kita kung paano mag-compute ng real property tax. Okay, so principles pa lang yan. So class, erase ko na to, ha? Make sure na-copy nyo yung lecture natin sa left side of the board. So ang gagawin natin, class, yung discard natin for today sa local taxation, i-discuss muna lahat. And then, saka tayo magsasagot ng handouts. Okay, so make sure na-copy mo to. And next natin gagawin is, basically, turuan ko kayo mag-compute. Okay? So sir, paano ba mag-compute ng RPT or real property tax? Dahil dito, RPT computation. Meron tayong 4 steps. Tandaan mo to, ha? Step number 1, determine the fair market value. Determine the FMV. Sir, saan natin makikita yan? Dito. Sa assessment rules. Punta ka sa sitio, sa munisipyo, sa provincial capital, assessor's office, makikita mo dyan yung fair market value, nakadivide sa yung applicable or related classification niya. So first is, determine natin yung fair market value of the property. Number 2, determine the assessment level. Ayun. Yun yung percentages dito. Okay, again, assessment level, ano kailangan tandaan? Residential 20, agricultural 40, commercial 50, industrial 50, mineral 50, timberland 20%. Tandaan yan, ha? Okay. Yun yung assessment level. Sir, bakit important yung assessment level? Kasi class, gagamitin natin yan to compute the assessed level. Determine the assessed level. Okay? Yung assessed level, ang tawag din na assessed level, ang tawag din natin dyan, ito yung taxable amount natin. Okay? Sir, paano computein yung assessed level? Basically, 1 times 2. Like dito, ha? 1 times 2. So, fair market value times the assessment level, yun yung assessed level natin. Yan yung taxable amount. Okay? So, dyan natin multiply yung tax rate natin. Step number 4, multiply the real property tax rate. Sir, ano yung rate na gagamitin natin? Depende class kung nasaan yung real property. Pag nasa province, yung real property, 1% yung multiply natin. Okay? Yung rate natin is 1%. Pag naman yung real property nasa city or municipality within Metro Manila, 2%. Mas malaki. Okay, 1% sa province, sa Metro Manila is 2%. Ano ba yung mga city sa Metro Manila? Actually, meron tayong 16, tama? Meron tayong Manila, Quezon City, Caloocan, Las Piñas, Makati, Mandaluyong, Marikina, Muntinlupa, Valenzuela, and so on and so forth. So, yun yung mga cities in Metro Manila. Okay? So, ayan. Pag nasa province, 1%. Pag nasa Metro Manila, mas malaki siya, 2%. Alright, now, ang tawag natin dito, class, yung compute natin dyan is the basic RPT. Basic Real Property Tax. Sir, pag may basic, ibig sabihin, may addition pa. Yes, hindi lang basic RPT yung babayaran mo. Meron pang iba, okay? Add mo dyan yung Special Education Fund or SEF tax. Okay? SEF tax. Special Education Fund tax. Sir, para saan yan? Lagay ko dito yung amount, okay? Or percentage kung how much siya. And then, lagay ko dito kung para saan. Purpose. Okay? Pag sinabing Special Education Fund tax, yung maximum yan, class, is 1% of the assessed value. 1% of the assessed value. Saan yung assessed value? Ito. Determine the assessed value pala to. Assessed value. Or the taxable amount. Tama. Assessed value or assessed level. Okay? Assessed value, assessed level. Ito siya. Okay? So 1%. Maximum yung 1%, ha? Pwedeng mababa sa 1%, pero hindi pwedeng tumaas sa 1%. Kaya sabi ko kayo na class, dun sa limitations ng local taxes natin, di ba may mga maximum amounts yun. Dito, ang maximum mo is 1%. So, Special Education Fund. Sir, para saan yung Special Education Fund? Kaya siya education, kasi class, para yan sa mga public schools. Okay? Dun sa area ng property. Okay? Para sa mga local schools. Doon siya ginagamit. Now, next naman class is idle land tax. Sir, meron palang idle land tax? Yes. Pag yung, mamaya, di-define natin yan sa handouts. Pero class, basically, pag kalahati or 1/2 of the land remains unutilized or uncultivated, considered siya as idle land. Okay? Ngayon, pag idle land ka, kailangan mo magbayad ng idle land tax. Okay? So, kalahati so 1/2 remains unutilized or uncultivated. Yung maximum amount nito, class, is 5% of assessed value. Okay? Now, sir, para saan ba yan? Yung idle land tax, actually, dalawa yung purpose yan. Number 1 is to optimize land use. And number 2, to discourage land speculation. Okay? So, para at least properly utilized, fully utilized lahat ng land, yun yung gusto ng government. Fully utilized yan. Hindi pwede may idle land dyan. Pag may idle land, well, bubuwisan namin yan. Okay? Tataksan namin yan, which is maximum 5% of assessed value. So, again, guys, hindi lahat ng land may idle land tax. Pag 1/2 remains uncultivated or unutilized. And last one, meron tayong tinatawag na special levy tax. Actually, class, na-discuss natin sa general principles of taxation, yung first meeting natin. Or, ang tawag mo dyan, special assessment tax. Okay? Sir, paano ba nagkakaroon ng special assessment tax? Pag may mga public improvements. Tama? So, layo dito. Pag may public improvements na nag-benefit yung mga landowners, for example, nagtayo ng highway, okay? Nagkaroon ng road widening, nagtayo ng bridge, tumaas yung fair market value ng property, mag-i-impose sa'yo ng special levy tax or special assessment tax. Yung amount naman yung class shall not exceed 60% of the actual project cost. Okay? So, ulitin ko dito, pag hindi lang basic RPT yung babayaran mo. Ito yung basic RPT, tama? Meron ka pang additional, 3. Special Education Fund, 1%, para yan sa mga public schools. Idle land tax, 5% naman yan. Parehong assessed value yan. Assessed value, assessed value. Special levy tax naman, 60%, maximum yan of the project cost. Okay? So maximum, magdabayad ka ng 4 na klaseng real property taxes. Gets? Okay, now, bigyan tayo ng illustration. Sir, bigyan mo naman kami ng illustration paano mag-compute. For example, class, meron tayong land. May residential property tayo, okay? Meron tayong land and may house or lot and house or house and lot. Residential property, located siya, for example, class, in Quezon City. Okay? Quezon City. Now, tinignan mo yung assessed value or the fair market value, okay, nung land sa assessor's office, 6 million. Tama? Ngayon, yung house, 4 million. Ayan. So, yun yung value ng property mo, the fair market value. So, ang tanong ko dito, class, how much yung kailangan mong bayaran na real property tax every year? Okay, paano yan, sir? Okay, tingnan natin, class. Number 1, determine the fair market value. Meron na tayo, 6 million and 4 million. Determine the assessment level. So, tingnan natin, class. Ano ba yung assessment level natin? So, yung land, 6 million. Okay, ano yung assessment level ng land natin? Since residential siya, ilang percent? 20%. Okay, 20%. So, how much na yan? 1.2 million. Tama? Yung house naman, or yung building, basically, yun yan, building, how much yung nakalagay? 4 million. So, tingin ka class dito, dun sa letter B, buildings and other structures, residential, di ba may mga brackets yan, mga bracketing. So, 4 million yung pinag-uusapan natin, tama? So, 4 million, dun siya sa between 2 million and 5 million. Nakita mo? 2 million and 5 million, nakalagay dyan 40%. Yun yung assessment level niyan. So, yung house, 4 million times 40%, you get 1.6 million. Ayun. 1.2 million plus 1.6 million, you have 2.8 million. Ang tawag natin dyan, class, ito yung assessed value natin. Tama? Assessed value or assessed level. So yung percentage, ang tawag natin dyan, assessment level. Pag minultiply mo na sa fair market value yan, assessed value. Gets? Or yung taxable amount. Now, sabi ko kanina class, sa Quezon City yan. So ibig sabihin, Metro Manila, ano gagamitin mong rate? 2%. Alright? 2.8 million times 2%. So dahil ko nandito, this is 56,000. Ito yung basic RPT. Alright? Yun yung basic RPT natin. Now, okay na tayo sa basic RPT. Sir, yung Special Education Fund, how much yan? 1%. Tama? Asan yung assessed value natin? 2.8 million times 1%. Ilan yun? 28,000. Ito yung SEF natin. Okay? So, add mo yung SEF na 86 na 28,000. Tingnan natin yung iba pa. Okay? So, may SEF tayo. Dito naman tayo. Idle land tax. Obviously, hindi applicable sa'yo yan. Kasi meron kang land in my house. Ibig sabihin, utilized yung area. Okay? Hindi sa'yo applicable yung idle land tax. Tama? Doon naman tayo sa special levy tax. Hindi rin sa applicable yan. Wala naman sinabing nagkaroon ng public improvement. Tama? So, ibig sabihin, ang babayaran mo lang basic RPT and SEF. Every year mo babayaran yan. So, 56,000 plus 28,000. Final answer natin dito, class, kapag ganito yung nasa problem, total na babayaran natin na RPT is 84,000. Gets? Okay, now, sir, sino liable dyan sa 84,000 na yan? Sino yung magbabayad niyan? Tandaan mo, class, ganito yung rule dyan. Dito kalagay, who is liable? Ang liable dyan, class, is basically yung property owners. Okay? Kung sino yung may-ari ng property. So, paano malaman kung sino yung may-ari ng property? Well, sino yung nag-appear dun sa land title. Okay? So, yun na sa land title, siya may-ari ng property. As of January 1 of each year. Okay? So, tanda mo, yung RPT nag-a-accrue yan every January 1. Kung sino yung owner ng January 1, siya magbabayad ng RPT. Gets? Okay. So, basically, binabayaran mo yan sa Treasurer's Office, no? Sa City Hall, sa munisipyo, Treasurer's Office yan babayaran. Now, ganito yung rule dyan, class, sa payment. Sir, paano ba yung payment dyan? Ganito yan. Pwede ka magbayad ng one time, isahang bayad lang, okay? Or pwede ka magbayad ng quarterly. So again, pag quarterly o one-time payment, obviously, 100% babayaran mo agad, 84,000 isang bayad, okay? Yun yun, one time. Pag quarterly, class, babayaran mo siya ng March 31, yung first payment mo, June 30, okay? September 30, and December 31. So basically, every end of each quarter, pwede yun, okay? Now, ang advantage naman, class, kapag one-time payment, okay? Pag nagbayad ka in advance, bibigyan ka ng 20% discount. Okay? So yung instead of paying 84,000, multiply mo pa by 80% yan kasi meron kang discount of 20%. Okay? So may discount yan para i-encourage yung mga property owners bayad in advance. Okay? So syempre, beneficial yan sa LGUs kasi makakollect sila in advance. Now, kapag naman late, tanda mo to, kapag late payment naman, dito advance may 20% discount ka dyan. Pag late naman, class, meron kang penalty which is 2% per month. Tama? Yan yung delinquency interest natin. Okay? Pag late payment, again, 2% per month, hindi per year. Okay? So, that's per month. Alright. So, ganyan siya. And tingnan pa natin yung G-sheets natin, class. So, meron tayong, tingnan natin, so yung B natin dyan, buildings and other structures, agricultural, commercial, industrial. So, again, yung mga bracketing na yan, wag mo nang i-attempt na i-memorize yan. Again, bibigyan ka dyan sa board. So, bibigyan ka ng kung ano yung assessment level. Except yung hinighlight ko kanina. Okay? And timberland, machineries, actually may special classes din. Basahin natin yung special classes. Cultural, okay. Levels for buildings, machineries, improvements, cultural, scientific, hospital, local water districts, GOCC engage in supply and distribution of water, gas, or water generation, transmission of electric power. So FYI na lang, meron din tayong tinatawag na special classes. Right? Okay, so class, meron din tayong exempt from real property tax. So hindi lahat ng property subject dyan. Ito yung mga exempt. So familiarize yourselves, meron tayong 5. Number 1, government-owned real property. Obviously, kung si government yung may-ari, bakit pa siya magta-tax? Sa kanya rin ang mapupunta yung tax. So, exempt yan. Number 2, Real property exclusively used for religious, charitable, educational purposes. Naalala nyo, diniscuss natin yan sa general principles in taxation, yung properties nila, okay? Basta dapat exclusively used, no? So actually, directly exclusively used for religious, charitable, educational purposes, exempt yan from RPT, okay? C, real property of registered cooperatives. So usually naman mga cooperatives, tax exempt yan. And then, machineries, equipment, take note, nakalagay dyan, engage in supply, distribution of water, okay? So mga local water districts, alright? And sa electric power. And then, machineries and equipment used for pollution control and environmental protection. So, familiarize yourselves, yung 5 na yan, exempt from real property tax. So, class, ibig sabihin pala, o yan, yan yung 5 lang na yan, tatanda mo, yan lang yung exempt from real property tax. So, hindi siya mag-a-apply, hindi ito mag-a-apply dyan. Okay. So, basically, yung mga kailangan mo tandaan for RPT. So, class, medyo comprehensive yung making discussion ko for local taxes kasi I believe na most of you, if not all of you, first time yung maririnig yung local taxes kasi bagong topic to in the board exam. Anyway, so tapos na tayo sa real property taxes. Doon naman tayo sa second one, local business taxes. Okay, so make sure nakapin nyo class. No? And, yan. So make sure nakapin nyo yung in-risk ko na to. After this, local business taxes, try natin magsagot ng handouts. Alright. So, lagay ko dito class is local business taxes. Local business taxes or LBT. Ayan. So, isipin nyo class na yung local business taxes, di ba meron tayong VAT and OPT, yun yung national level, national taxes na business tax, tama? Ito yung counterpart sa local tax, sa local taxation, yung local business taxes. Now, yung mga businesses class, before sila makapag-renew ng mayor's permit or business permit, dapat bayad mo na yung local business taxes na yan. Hindi ka makakapag-renew ng business permit mo pag hindi to bayad. Okay? Kaya very important yan. And usually class, yung local business taxes na yan is percentage yan of annual gross receipts. Okay? Or gross sales or receipts. GSR na lang. Again, GSR, gross sales or receipts. Depende yan sa line of business mo. Naka-enumerate yan sa local government code. So again, para mas madalian ka sa topic natin, basahin mo muna. Mabilisan lang yung local government code natin. And kung mapapansin mo doon class, may mga ceiling din yan. Parang dito, hindi ka pwedeng tumaas sa 1%. Pwede mo sa baba dyan. Pero hindi ka pwedeng more than 1% or more than 2%. Okay? So may mga ceilings din, may mga guidelines, limitations imposed by the local government code, and in-specify niya doon yung mga local business taxes. Okay, refer tayo sa G-sheets natin. Isa-isa natin yung class. Number 1, lagay ko dito, or letter A, real, ano nakalagay? Real property transfer. Real property transfer. Sir, di ba yan din yung real property tax? Actually, magkaiba sila. Hindi to RPT. Okay? Pag real property transfer class, whenever meron kang sale, okay, or donation of real property. Alright? Dito kasi, basta meron kang ownership ng real property, magbabayad ka ng RPT. Gets ba? Dito, whenever lang magbebenta ka or magdo-donate ng real property, naalala nyo yung capital gains tax. Di ba? Pag nagbenta ka, may CGT yun. Okay? Inaralan natin yan. Sa income tax natin. Now, yun yung national tax, capital gains tax. Hindi lang iyon yung babayaran ni seller. Si seller, babayaran din niya yung real property tax transfer. Okay? Or real property transfer, this is an example of a business tax. Okay? So how much yan, sir? It's 50% of 1%. And yung basis mo niyan is, tignan mo yung selling price, fair market value, whichever is higher. O, parang capital gains tax and then. So again, hindi lang CGT babayaran mo, magbabayad ka din ng tax on real property transfer, which is 50% of 1%. Okay? Selling price or fair market value, whichever is higher. Alright. So now, ang importance ito class, meron kasi tayong registry of deeds or register of deeds. Yung registry of deeds, sila bahala mag-transfer ng title. For example, si buyer and seller. Okay? So si buyer, syempre itatransfer sa kanya ni seller yung ownership, okay, yung title. Tama? Ngayon, pag hindi bayad yung capital gains tax, yung tax on real property transfer, documentary stamp tax, hindi yan itatransfer ni Registry of Deeds. Dapat bayad lahat, malinis lahat, may tax clearance ka muna, okay? Before i-transfer ni Registry of Deeds, yung title from the seller to the buyer. Gets? Kaya importante yan. Alright? Babayaran mo dapat yan. Okay? Ang bahala mo bayad yan, si seller. Letter B, or actually, number na lang gagawin ko. Number 1. Number 2, yung second type of business tax. Class, kung mapapansin nyo pala dyan, nakalagay dyan provinces, municipalities, cities, barangay. So, explain ko muna yung table natin. So, nakalagay dito, class, provinces, puro yes, isang no. Okay? Municipalities, puro no, isang yes. Cities, may levy taxes, same as provinces, municipalities. Sa barangay naman, no, 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 sharing, blah, blah, blah. Okay? So, ibig sabihin lang yung class, pag yes, pwedeng i-impose ng province yun, or ng municipalities, pwede siyang impose sa LGU. Pag no, hindi siya pwedeng impose ng LGU. So, ang pinag-uusapan natin yan, provinces muna tayo. Okay? Isa-isay natin yan. So, provinces, ito yung pwede niyang impose. Real property transfer. Okay, tax on real property transfer. Number 2, printing and publication. Printing and publication. So, class, basically, ang printing and publication, nakalagay dyan, ito yung mga businesses engaged, sulat mo muna, businesses engaged in printing and publication of books, cards, posters, certificates, ano pa? Receipts, tarpaulins, etc. So yung mga printing businesses, okay? Printing businesses, di ba nagbabayad ng ano yun? It's either bayad siya ng VAT or bayad ng OPT. Bukod doon, yun yung national taxes. Magbabayad pa sila ng local business taxes. Ang tawag natin doon, ayun, tax on printing and publication. Okay, gets ba? So again, tandaan mo lang na local business taxes, in addition yan dun sa VAT or OPT na babayaran nila. Alright? Now, again, ang liable dito yung mga printing businesses. So kung makikita nyo, siguro pag punta kayo dun sa dyan sa bayan nyo, may mga printing businesses dyan, mga nagpiprint ng mga tarpaulins, nagle-layout, no? Di ba? Photoshop nila, and then sila bahala mag-print. Yun, liable sila sa tax on printing and publication. Gets? Okay. So, sir, how much naman yan? According to the local government code, it should not exceed, okay, not exceeding 50% of 1% of annual gross receipts. So as you notice, dito 50% of 1%, ito 50% of 1% din. Ang usual naman class na basis or tax base is the gross sales or receipts. So again, for printing and publication, 50% of 1% of annual gross receipts. Actually, nakalagay na pala dito. Dun sa last column natin sa table, rates nakalagay. Okay, so real property transfer, 50% of 1% of the total consideration or fair market value, whichever is higher. Printing and publication, 50% of 1%. Next nating class is franchise tax. Okay, franchise tax. Class, naalala nyo pa yung discussion natin sa OPT. Di ba, meron tayong franchise taxes doon. Yung gas and water, television and radio, yung franchise grantees, naalala nyo yan? Okay, di ba nagbabayad sila ng percentage taxes? Tama. Ngayon, nagbabayad sila ng percentage tax, iyon yung national tax. Liable din sila sa local tax. Ang tawag natin doon is also franchise tax. Okay? So again, yung mga franchise holders. No? Now, how much yan? Nakalagay dyan, 50% of 1%. So 50% of 1% of gross annual receipts. Lagay ko na lang annual gross receipts. So class, ang pinakamagandang example nito, i-check mo yung Meralco bill mo. Si Meralco kasi, franchise granted din siya. Okay? Binigyan siya ng franchise ng government natin, basically para mag-distribute ng electricity sa mga consumers. Okay? Sa mga bahay-bahay. Now, franchise grantee siya. Liable siya sa franchise tax. Ngayon, pag tinignan mo yung Meralco bill mo, okay, may makikita ka doon na computation ng franchise tax. Kasi class, yung franchise tax na yan, pinapasa sa atin ng Meralco. Passed on yan sa atin. Di ba? Naalala niyo yung business taxes, VAT and OPT, passed on yan sa consumers. Tama? Yung local taxes na yan, such as franchise tax, pinapasa din sa atin yan. So, check mo yung Meralco bill para mas makita mo kung ano ibig sabihin ng franchise tax. Okay, number 4. Sand, gravel, and other quarry resources. Okay, so basically class, applicable naman to sa mga mining companies. Okay? So mga mining companies, mas malaki yung tax nila. Nakalagay dyan, 10% of fair market value in the locality per cubic square meter. So like dito, 10% of fair market value. Okay, not more than. So again, yung mga rates na nilalagay ko dito class, yan yung ceiling, yan yung maximum. Pwede bumaba dyan, pero hindi pwede mag-exceed dyan. So take note of that. Okay, so tanda mo class na nakalagay dyan, di ba dun sa barangay, nakalagay sharing. Nakita mo yun? Sa table natin, may sharing. Ganito kasi class ang nangyayari dyan. Sa mga sand, gravel, and other quarry resources, so yung mga mining companies na yan. Ganito mangyayari dyan. Ang nagko-collect niyan ng tax for them is the province. Kukolektahin ng province yan. And then, once na-collected ng province, yung proceeds, okay, of tax, i-distribute yan. Kaya nakalagay for sharing. Okay, so ulitin ko, yung mga mining companies na yan, magbabayad sila ng local tax, okay, 10%, babayad na sa province yan. Pag nakuha ng province, i-distribute niya yan. Yung 30% mapupunta sa province, okay? Yung another 30% mapupunta yan sa city or municipality kung saan nag-mine, okay? Kung saan in-extract yung mga resources, mineral resources na yan. And yung 40% class, mapupunta dun sa barangay kung saan in-extract, okay? Kung nasaan basically yung mine. So take note, magko-collect si province and then i-distribute niyan. Tatlo, 30% mariretain sa province, 30% city or municipality, 40% barangay kung nasaan yung mine, okay? Kung saan nag-extract ng mga resources. Alright, now, that's number 4. Let's go to number 5, professional tax. Dito na lang. Professional tax. So obviously, exercise of profession. Okay? Pag nagtayo ka ng law firm, nagtayo ka ng audit firm, okay? Nag-offer ka ng may dental services ka, okay? May clinic ka. Ngayon, exercise of profession yun. Kailangan magbayad ng professional tax. Got it? Okay, now, nakalagay dyan, professional tax amount and reasonable classification as the sangguniang panlalawigan may determine, but shall in no case exceed 300. Okay, so 300 pesos yung max. Lagay ko dito, maximum of 300 pesos. Alright? So, ayan. That's what you call professional tax. Again, exercise of profession. So, ayan. Next natin is amusement tax, number 6. Amusement tax. So, class, If maalala nyo yung amusement tax natin yung discussion sa OPT, di ba meron tayong may boxing exhibitions, yung mga racehorses, etc. Na-discuss natin yan, amusement taxes. Meron ding local tax yan. Okay? Yung national tax, yung OPT or percentage taxes, meron tayong local tax. Amusement tax, medyo malaki, 10% of the gross receipts from admission fees. So lagi dito, 10%, okay, of annual gross receipts. Now, for example, class, ang maganda examples yan, yung, let's say, may mall sa inyo. Sa SM. Di ba sa SM, may mga cinemas yan? Tama? That's considered as an amusement. Okay? So, may tax sila na, ayun, 10% of annual gross receipts. Ano pa? Mga theater, mga concert halls, mga stadium, mga boxing stadium, mga ganyan. Amusement taxes, again, 10% of gross receipts. Next natin is delivery vans and trucks. Okay, number 7, delivery vans. Ano nakalagay? Delivery vans and trucks. Okay? Sir, ano naman yan? Delivery vans and trucks. Actually, class, ito yung delivery, sulat mo to, or distribution, delivery or distribution of alcohol, soft drinks, cigarettes to outlets or consumers. Okay? Outlets or consumers. So, ulitin ko, delivery vans and trucks, yun yung delivery or distribution of alcohol, soft drinks, cigarettes to outlets or consumers. So, hindi lahat. Okay? Pag lang iyan yung deliver or distribute. Class, familiar ba sa inyo yung alcohol, soft drinks, and cigarettes? Di ba yun yung mga subject to excise tax? Tama? Yun, meron din silang additional pong babayaran. So, actually, ang dami binabayaran yan. Kasi, di ba, sa business taxes, magbabayad yan either VAT or percentage tax. Tama? So, VAT or OPT, magbabayad pa yan ng excise tax, magbabayad pa yan ng tax on delivery vans and trucks. Pero ang maximum dito, not exceeding 500 pesos. So, yung max dito, class, is 500. Again, pwedeng mas mababa sa 500, pero hindi pwedeng mas mataas sa 500. Okay. So, yan yung class yung pwedeng i-impose ng province. So, as you notice, nakalagay dyan, sa first column natin, provinces, puro yes, lahat yan, pwedeng impose ng province. Yung last one, no. Community tax, later, aralin natin yan, hindi yan pwedeng impose ng province. Gets? Okay, so malapit tayo matapos, class. Let's go to municipalities. Mabilis lang to. Sige, so ang gagawin ko, ito hindi ko muna i-erase to. Okay, so, dito na tayo. Aha, dito. Para ma-retain natin yung mga important points. Late payment, tanggalin ko na yan. And ito siguro pwede ko na tanggalin. Okay, tanggalin ko na to. So, lagay dito 2%. Okay, so provinces. Malapit na tayo pas matapos. Doon tayo sa municipalities. Municipalities. Ito ang tatanda mo sa municipalities. According to Section 142 of the Local Government Code, okay, municipalities, sulat ko verbatim, municipalities may levy taxes, fees, charges, not otherwise levied by province. Yun, ito yung pinaka-important dyan. Not otherwise. So, ibig sabihin, class, ang pwede lang nilang i-impose yung mga hindi ini-impose ng province. Ibig sabihin, lahat to, sinulat ko kanina, yung ilang items yan, 7 items, hindi yan pwedeng i-impose ng municipalities. Kaya nakalagay dyan, puro no. And then yes, kasi sabi sa Local Government Code, specifically sa Section 142, municipalities may levy taxes, fees, and charges not otherwise levied by province. Pag na-levy na ng province, hindi na pwedeng i-levy yan ni municipality or hindi na pwedeng impose ni municipality. Gets? Okay. Now, I'll give you an example. Well, dito nakalagay community tax. Bigyan pa natin ng 2 examples. So kaya again, basahin mo yung Local Government Code, maraming examples doon. Bigyan natin ng 2 examples. For example, class, pwede silang mag-charge ng business tax, no? Doon sa mga retailers or manufacturers, wholesalers, exporters, retailers, for wine, liquor, commodities, rice, meat, okay? Example lang to, dairy products, cooking oil, etc. So, kasi gusto ko, punta mo yung Section 142, makikita mo doon, maraming examples doon, pwedeng i-impose yung municipality. But basically, ito yung makikita mo doon. Manufacturers, wholesalers, exporters, retailers of selected products, for example, wine, liquor, commodities, rice, okay? So, ito yung mga example ng commodities. Rice, meat, cooking oil, dairy products. Ayan, yun yung mga examples doon. So, makikita mo, class, nakalagay doon is may mga percentage doon, 50% of 1%, and so on and so forth. Ang pwede pang i-impose ng municipality is yung mga banks. Okay? Banks and other financial institutions, pwede rin sila mag-impose yan. Okay? So, annual gross receipts na. For example, yung mga banks, diba nag-earn ng interest income yan. So, pwede mag-impose ng local tax sa kanila, local business tax, yung municipality. And usually, class, pag tinignan mo yung Section 142, nakalagay doon, 50% of 1%. Okay? Of annual gross sales or receipts. Lagi namang halos ganyan, 50% of 1%. Okay? Now, okay tayo sa municipalities. Let's go to cities. Lagyan natin ang number. Provinces, municipalities, and number 3, cities. Nakalagay sa cities, class, no? Sa Section 151. Cities may levy taxes, fees, and charges which the province or municipality, sulat nyo to, may impose. Okay, so ibig sabihin ng class, yung cities, kung ano yung pwedeng i-impose ni province and municipality, pwede nyo rin niyang i-impose. So, nakalagay dyan, may impose. Kaya kung makikita nyo dyan sa table natin, nakalagay, may levy taxes same as provinces and municipalities. So, ito, discuss natin na yan. Plus this one, municipalities, pwedeng i-levy yan ng cities. Gets? Okay. Now, doon naman tayo sa last one. So, last natin, lalagay ko lang dito class, number 4. Ayoko kasing i-erase to para mag-refer tayo dito later. Doon tayo sa barangays. Ito yung smallest LGU natin, barangays. Makikita mo naman ito sa section 152. Ang nakalagay naman doon, ayan, pwede rin mag-impose yung barangays ng taxes, fees, and charges. Bigyan ko ng examples. May examples yan sa section 152. Pero ang magandang example dyan, plus, yung mga stores and retailers, stores or retailers, yung mga sari-sari store. Okay, yung mga sari-sari store, pwede sila mag-impose dyan. Okay? May limit din doon. Nakalagay, shall not exceed 1% of annual gross sales or receipts. Alright? So, sari-sari store, another good example is barangay clearance. Okay? Barangay clearance. So, before ka kumuha ng license or any permit, usually, nagre-require ng barangay clearance yan, di ba? So, yung barangay clearance is another source of revenues for the barangay. So, again, pwede sila mag-impose sa mga sari-sari store and barangay clearance. Okay? So, ayan. So, class, take note na lang yung table na yan. Very important yan. So, nakalagay yes, no, and then, ayan. Makikita mo kung ano yung mga pwede nilang i-impose na local business taxes. Now, class, kung bababa ka pa sa G-sheets natin, may nakalagay dyan na sample fees and charges. Di ba? Sabi ko kanina, pwede lang impose taxes, fees and charges. Yung fees and charges na yan, ito yung mga examples. Pinakita ko dyan para at least familiar kayo. Building permit, LGUs din nag-impose yan. Bus terminals, cockpits, court fees, electrical permit, fire certification, firearms, garbage collection, mayor's permit, parking fees, sanitary permit, terminal fees, tax clearance, towing, toll fees and charges. Yan plus yung other fees and charges na pwedeng i-impose ng LGUs natin. Gets? Okay, ano pa? Alright, so last one na class before we go to our handouts. No? Nakalagay dyan, situs of business tax. Well, alam natin yung situs, yun yung place of taxation. Meron tayong 4 na kailangan tandaan. So refer tayo sa G-sheets natin. 4 na scenarios. Letter A, if there is a sales outlet or branch, yung situs natin, LGU where outlet is situated. Okay? Kung nasaan yung outlet or branch, yun yung situs niya. Okay? Letter B, if there is no sales outlet or branch, kung nasaan naman yung principal office. Gets? For example, yung isa nasa Quezon City, yung isa sa Mandaluyong. Okay? Yung Quezon City, nandoon yung office. Sa Mandaluyong, nandoon yung branch. Okay? So sa letter A, kung nasaan yung outlet daw, so in our case, nandoon sa Mandaluyong. Dito naman, pag walang sales outlet, well, nasaan yung office, which is sa Quezon City. Gets? Letter C, manufacturer's office, same as factory outlet. Well, obviously, kung nasaan yung office, kasi same na naman sila. And then letter D, magkaiba yung manufacturer's office, different from factory or outlet. Okay, nakalagay dyan, 30% dun sa LGU kung nasaan yung principal office. 70% kung nasaan yung plant, okay, or yung factory or yung outlet. Gets? Okay. So later, i-apply natin yan sa handouts natin, pero class, gusto ko lang na malaman mo na meron din tayong situs pagdating sa local taxes. Alright, so I think yun muna. Let's have a break before we go to our handouts.